Hey, beautiful. This video series is about where to start when you're working with the digestive system. It is a question I get asked about all the time as a naturopath, as a skin therapist, as a body worker, as a quantum healer, as someone who works alongside people on the journey of helping to access and reclaim their own power. They're, through all parts and dimensions of self, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, helping to release trauma imprints. Our digestive system has everything to do with how we can heal, transcend, transform, evolve, and grow. Because this is where we're getting all of our nourishment, yeah? And so, one of the things that I really love to invite an understanding of is that our digestive system is not just working with the specific nutrients coming from our food and drinks, it's also working with the way that we're digesting, metabolizing, integrating, and processing all of the different events, experiences, and emotional interactions with all the people, places, situations, and things around us. And how are we digesting the TV or the social media that we're consuming, or the EMFs, or the toxins in the air, like the pollutants, the mold, nanoplastics, all of these other things that are circulating around that often we're completely unconscious to, that we don't even understand are coming in to the portal of our body through our mouth. And this is also impacting our digestive system. The other very big components that impact and influence our digestive system the entire time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, is our nervous system, which is basically our emotional response. Our nervous system is the record keeper of all the past events and experiences that shape our beliefs and our responses to life, the lens at which we are looking at the world, at our food, why we eat, how we eat, all of those kind of things. And then we also have our fascial system. Now, our fascia system is our master communicator. That's holding our nervous system. Our nervous system is directing our digestive system what to do. So you can understand that there are many, many links in this chain. We also obviously have our microbiome systems that are working on our body, in every single compartment of our digestive system. And our digestive system is actually one long hollow tube, and yet it does have all of these different compartments. Like our mouth is distinctly different in pH and microbiome communities than our esophagus, than our stomach, than our small intestine, than our large intestine. And so from how things come in to how things come out, there are many, many different influencing aspects. And this is why I want to begin with one of the strong foundational pieces. If you can really anchor this into your life, into your day, then you will be on your way to navigating and negotiating a much better collaborative journey with your digestive system than what you may presently have in your life. The other thing that I also want to mention is that I will create a video on rhythms, and the rhythms of our digestive system are super, super important. And so one of these rhythms, one of these priming cues for our body is actually our cephalic stage of digestion, or our anticipatory stage of digestion. Basically the excitement with which we are moving to meet our meal. And one of the things about rhythms is that we can prime our body to have some regularity with our meals. And so we might eat, within this certain time window, once, twice, or 3 times a day, or more times a day. However, that regularity is something that our nervous system is listening to. And then our fascia and our digestive responses will attune to that. However, I'm going to park that conversation for another video and just come back into this cephalic stage of digestion. This is the anticipation through all of your senses. So what you're looking at, how you're looking at it, how you're responding to the colors and the textures, and the way that you're touching that, like how is your engaged tactile experience of your food? What are you listening to? And then, of course, we're going to move into the smell and then the taste. Now, these are so vital to gift your body some time with your food. And obviously the preference being that you are creating and making your own food, and that's not available to everybody. And if you are so-called eating on the run, if you are eating pre-packaged, ready to go meals, you can still offer yourself an opportunity to engage with your cephalic stage of digestion and all of your different senses to support your body. And I'll explain a little bit more about that in just a moment. And so bringing yourself into presence with your food. Now, what could that entail? For me, it often just entails taking a moment to breathe, to center, to ground, to come into my body, to stop running in the future or to stop dwelling in the past and really come here now. And then to offer my food a blessing, like, thank you. You are going to become the building blocks of me. The things that are here are going to come into me and then come into smaller and smaller components to build me. Thank you. Thank you to all of the different processes, the journey that the food has been on to get to my plate. Thank you to the sunshine. Thank you to the rain. Thank you to the moon. Thank you to all of the different seasons, the rhythms of the world. Thank you to the farmers and the workers and the production chain. And you don't necessarily need to say all these things, but just bringing them into your intention as you create awareness of your body just about to move into bringing this food into you. Thank you for this incredible gift, incredible privilege. Not everybody across the world has this privilege in this moment of right now, and I do. Thank you. Thank you that I can engage with all of my senses for this very moment. And so you can imagine that if you were just to take that moment of appreciation and gratitude and presence, that your mind-body system starts to collaborate and to come into a coherence. So we have these different modes of running in our body system. I'm sure you've heard of fight or flight, like it's our stress response. It can also involve fawn and freeze responses as well. Again, I'll talk about them in other videos if you haven't heard of them before. But basically, our body is either metabolized to be on the go, action, Jackson. And that on the go could just be on the go, very mentally alert, very hyper vigilant, kind of considering where is this next threat or stressor going to be coming from? Like whether you're opening up emails, checking and scrolling through your phone, making comparisons and judgments, like how are you talking to other people? What is the speed at which you're talking to other people? And can you just for a moment release your attachments to them and again come into a presence with your body? And so you're releasing that future pacing or that past dwelling, coming in, allowing your senses to activate for the food so you can really, really deeply appreciate the gifts of all the textures, the smells, before it comes into your mouth. So this is your brain engagement with your food, particularly your sensorial engagement. This is a messaging that's starting to happen in your body and flowing in to move into your parasympathetic nervous system to say, hey, now is rest, digest, repair, and growth mode. We're going to be bringing something in so that we can grow rather than remaining stuck in fight, flight, freeze, fawn responses like that action Jackson stage or collapse stage, overwhelm stage, which is your stress hormone response. We're really moving into that receptive response of your body. And so this is where your engagement with your breath, with your presence, that's what's so powerful in engaging with that response. Now, as you choose to take this first mouthful of food, how slow can you go? Could you ask yourself what would it be like to just chew another 5 times? When you're ready to swallow, what would it be like to chew another 5 times? And not because you have to, but because you have the opportunity to, because you have the pleasure to, because you can move your saliva around in your mouth with this bolus of food, like with this, what you're masticating, what you are chewing down. Each one of your teeth are involved in this process. Your tongue is involved in this process. Your salivary secretions are involved in this process. And what's so amazing is that the more that we're breaking down the food, the more communication is happening, not just in our mouth and with the food, but then with all the different secretions that are coming up to meet that food as we swallow it. And so when you finally come to that point where you are truly ready to swallow, where that piece of food that you placed in your mouth feels like it has been relished to the fullest of the opportunity that was there, you swallow, and then as soon as it moves down past this level of your esophagus, this was what moves into autonomic nervous system functioning. You've got kind of no idea of what's going on then once you swallow, yeah? And this is why the gift that we bring to this area of presence just takes up a whole lot of pressure with the organs that are much lower down here. When you've got digestive issues, from the mouth down, there's things that are going on in your pH, with your microbiomes, with your digestive secretions. And so if you were to swallow food in a hurry, you haven't really chewed it that well, the salivary enzymes haven't really had a chance or an opportunity to work properly, you swallow things and the stomach receives it. It's like, shit. Oh God, I've really got to work so hard here. Like, you got 3 layers of musculature in your stomach, and our food is meant to sit there for a specific length of time, not too short a time and not too long a time, because that also changes what happens with the food and the food components. But the layers of our stomach wall are working alongside the specific stomach secretions to then further digest that food. So if you've already done a lot of the hard work here with your teeth that are very hard, that are designed for this process, then your stomach can move along in its process in a much happier, more optimized way. I hope that makes sense. The other thing that all the chewing up here does in terms of signaling further digestive secretions is that when that food is finally released from the stomach into the small intestine, where a huge amount of our nutrient absorption and digestion and utilization begins to take place, then the secretions that are meant to be there, the enzyme activity that is meant to be there, is heightened to the best level that it can be with the resources that your body currently has available to it. All because you were a little more present and available to this cephalic or anticipatory stage of digestion. All because you amplified your awareness and presence to that beautiful nurture and nourishment that was just about to come into your body. And so please, take these moments, these opportunities every time that you are just about to pop something in your mouth to become more engaged with your whole mind-body system, creating more coherence and collaboration and harmonization, and taking off a whole lot of pressure for these organs lower down. And I'd love to talk about this a little more with you with each video, just to unpack some greater and greater sections so that you can understand the very simple things that you can do to work with your own system to start harmonizing your own health, because you do have the power. It is your body and all the different gifts that you can bring to your day, where you're listening to your own body cues, where you're responding to your body, where you're becoming more aware of your body, will start to shift and change your health in a myriad of beautiful ways. And one of my great purposes and missions in life, with all of the knowledge that I have collected from so many different masters, is to help positively transform the way that people think, live, and treat about themselves and about others. And I believe that this is what creates those positive ripple effects and can start changing our world. But if we don't have a handle on our own body, we don't really have a handle on life. And we're running a whole lot of really unconscious and subconscious patterns that, in my perspective, just are usually very unserving and unhelpful for initiating us into even greater states of consciousness and awareness and connection to our entire world, our internal world and external world. As above, so below, as within, so without. I look forward to unpacking even more in these next videos. Lots of love wherever you're at in your day, your night. It was great to connect. Thank you.